Hi everyone, today we are doing real food. We're doing the perfect egg custard. Now the first time I made this a few weeks ago it was perfect. The second time I overbaked it and ruined it. So this is the third time, I'm hoping it's going to turn out perfectly. It's the pastry version. I do make egg custard, not often, but John really likes egg custard and he just likes it in the tin with no pastry. But this one with the pastry is just absolutely rich and gorgeous. It's a long time since I've done a food video, but it's actually not that long since I've done a food video. But the ones I've done, they've been that long that I've not been able to upload them. So I'm hoping this one will get it uploaded. So just take your pastry and give it a roll out. Obviously flour your surface, and we're going to try not to get a soggy bottom by pre-baking the pastry. So I'm just gonna, I've got two molds because the amount of custard in my recipe, it's far too deep for a pie tin, a round pie tin dish, round pie dish. So I'm using oval deep pie dishes. So we'll get this lined. Actually, I think I just need to roll that out a bit more. It's maybe a little bit too thick, because obviously I need some more pastry for the other one. So let's get that in there and just let it shrink into the mold here. I'm not really much of a cook, to be honest. I love Great British Bake Off, but I'm certainly not good enough to go on there. It's very rare that things I make come out very well cooking wise. I'm sure if I put more effort in though, I could do a lot better. Now, somehow I feel we're only going to get one tin out of this. I don't know what to do. Here we are again, wondering what to do. Yeah, I think we're just going to do one, because the pastry that I'm going to take off this, I don't think it's enough. So I always cut around the pastry case a lot bigger than it should be, because the pastry shrinks and I don't want it to shrink into the tin. And we'll cut off the excess pastry once it's finished. I guess I could make just some individual egg custards with what's left over, couldn't I? In my Yorkshire pudding dish. I'm just going to fold that over and tuck it under like that. And we need a little bit of pastry here, because there's a hole in there. Right, so yeah, that's what we'll do. Now I'm just going to squeeze this pastry together. And roll it out. Ready for use later on. there's no way that would have filled another. There's holes in there. I think we'll just scrap that idea for now. Actually, yeah, we'll just scrap that idea for now, but that might roll out into a better shape, mightn't it? Oh, go on, just have a go. Just ignore me talking to myself. So I guess like sometimes I can cook well, but I'm not consistent. John and Declan will tell you that. That's a lot better, isn't it? We'll just leave that there to shrink and lift the camera up. I think what we'll do is we'll move that to the other side, move that over here like that. And then we'll clean up this pastry. So the next thing we need is the bacon beans. And some greaseproof paper, which we're just going to pop in there like this. Maybe better that way on. And then take your bacon beans and just pour them into your pastry. Don't pour them directly onto your pastry because they'll stick in your pastry. Again, I'm sure I've done that myself before. And then we're just going to pop this in the oven at 180 for 15 minutes. I'm just going to pop it on the lower shelf. So 15 minutes in the oven at 180 degrees. While that's in the oven, we're going to take 8 egg yolks, pour them into a mixing pan. a mixing bowl. And we also need, just get my scales. We need 75 grams of, I use caster sugar, you can use ordinary sugar, it's fine. I think it must be white sugar though. If you like it sweeter, you can actually go to 100 grams. Oops, I went over there and it's up to 88, but it'll still be fine. Now we need a mixer, and we're going to whisk this vigorously until it's light and fluffy. It seems to make the mixture really creamy and fluffy doing that. Of course, if you don't want it creamy and fluffy, then just mix it in until it's mixed. But I found that mixing it and making it light and fluffy and frothy actually makes it really, really nice. Got much wire on, cable on here. Get it on super speed and mix, 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 mix. Stop there and just turn the camera off for now, and then I'll come back and show you when that's ready, and then when we've heated the milk up to put in. Of course, I'll tell you the measurements. Okay, so I've whisked that up. See how lovely and light and fluffy it is, and how pale it is compared to before. Just pop that to one side, measure into a jug 250 mils of milk, and I like the Morrison's double cream. Sainsbury's double cream is a bit claggy on your mouth. Morrison's is lighter, it's much nicer for baking with. So we need 250 mils of that. The great thing with these jugs is they actually have the measurements on the side, so I'm going to go down to 350, and then I know I've used 250 mils. Of course, I could just measure it on the side of the glass jug. And then what we're going to do is we're going to heat that up in a pan. just turn your pan up to full and then pop the milk and the cream in there, and we're going to heat it until it's boiling. Now in the meantime, while you haven't been on camera, I took the pastry cases out because I forgot to prick the bottom. So I took the baking beans out and I pricked the bottom, and I've literally put these back in the oven for 5 minutes. And you see how this one here is rising up there. We don't want that. We want it flat, nice and flat on the bottom. So if I'd pricked it before I baked it, that wouldn't have happened. And it hasn't. Well, it has a little bit on this one, but not too much. And so it's looking nice and brown around the outside, but once we've baked, no, we do that next, don't we? We're going to trim off the excess pastry. And so while the milk and cream's heating up, we'll do that. It's a little bit darker over here. Well, probably because it's all the cocoa pod's dark and the cooker's dark. So if we just trim off gently, then any of the edges that have caught a little bit on there, they come off, and then you just end up with a, hopefully, fingers crossed, perfectly finished pastry. And I've literally, all I used for this one here is a cereal bowl. It's obviously okay in the oven. It's a bit of an awkward thing to do, to be honest, this. But everything's working to plan so far. I don't know if you like eating pastry like that. I don't. Now while we were doing that, the milk and cream is starting to bubble. That's it, it's starting to rise up now. So turn your heat off. Go back to your egg. And what you want to do is just add a little bit of your cream and milk. not all of it. Apparently that stops the egg cooking. And I use free range eggs in here. They seem to have a better taste. Not as watery or loose. But whatever eggs are working best wherever you are at the moment, just use those. So that's the custard made. And literally all we're going to do now is we're going to pour it into our cases. And then gently try and get them in the oven. So I'm going to pour some into this jug here, and then I can top them up. I'll fill this one first, and then whatever we've got left over we'll put into the smaller container. I'm useless at the moment, my head's all over the place. So let's pour that in there, a bit more in there. There's not going to be enough for the small one, you know, unless I don't make it so deep. I don't know what to do. I could always, if I make this one nice and deep, it's actually perfect amount, isn't it? I can make some more for this one. I'll put something else in there, maybe make a treacle tart or something. Or at school we used to get something called, I think it was called treacle tart, but it wasn't treacle tart, it was cornflake tart. It had pastry on the bottom, then a layer of jam, and then it was cornflakes and syrup mixed together in a dish, and you sprinkled the cornflakes over the top and put it in the oven. Oh, I used to love that. This is just some nutmeg for the top. It has got a little bit of mixed spice in there as well. Right, now let's see if I can get the camera into position so you can see me putting it in the oven. Hopefully I can get it in the oven before the battery runs out, because it's flashing. Putting it on the lower shelf. So that'll probably take 15 minutes. But we will come back and check again later.
£7 a month.
And there you go. That's the egg custard. You can see it's got a wobble. It wobbles just like jelly. So not too much of a wobble, just a little wobble. And that's it, it's set. Any more than that and it'll be overdone. So I think this one's turned out perfect. We'll just have to see what it's like when we cut into it, which we'll do in a second.
The Ortega Hospital was...
No, you don't.
What?
We want a knife and a palette knife to lift it out, because my viewers want to see this beautiful custard that I've made.
Can I not just eat it?
You can after we've cut it, yeah. Don't be silly. I don't know. No!
Why is there so much pastry?
Well, I thought it would fill more of the panel, but it didn't.
All I can taste on pastry is nutmeg.
Yeah, well, there will be nutmeg on it.
You're just
Get yourself a knife.
blinking fannying about.
Get yourself a knife.
Oh,
I'm in a plate. I'm definitely losing it.
just get in.
Oh, look at that. Get in. The custard looks good though.
That spoon's a bit big. It's more for your mouth, that spoon.
It's a little bit loose in the middle actually. Maybe could have done with a bit more pan.
Spoon is what you need. Oh, God! What are you putting it?
He does like a bit of custard tart, does our John, you know. I think I might take a piece from the corner. No, we go for this yarn. Oh, it's definitely very loose, that is. It wouldn't dare and bake off the nose. It's a bit runny, but this piece perfect at the back. Now let's have a taste. Has it got a soggy bottom? Well, it looks like it has. I mean, even though that part's not set, it's just like beautiful custard. Gorgeous. I bet you're dying for some, are you? So there you go. That's the custard tart.
Nearly as good as my mum's.
Oh, what? It's better than your mum's.
Bit more practice. What's
Yeah,
in
I've only been practicing for 20 years. That's got sponge and jam in it.